I had a way then, losing it all on my own.
The current state of the planet is comparable to an epidemic. We are consuming its resources at an increasing rate with no clear course of action for amending the dilemma. A viral disconnection between people and the land continues to take place. Modern society persists on focusing upon technology and progression with no regard to the land. From prestigious football stadiums to iPhones, man always strives for more. Such excessive behaviors have not only separated individuals from the land, but from each other. Spoken words, for instance, are being utilized less and less since texting has emerged in mainstream society. The root of this problem is mankind's spiritual disengagement with nature. The earth has become an object to manipulate and replenish as we see fit, but as identified in early Native American creation myths, the land is a living entity. A body that needs nutrition for growth and an understanding of its needs in order to provide the proper care. A seemingly tragic tale, this remains one of hope. A hope that people can awaken their hearts and open their minds to sharing more love with the land and less with material objects. When learning about different views of the land, I've discovered that I most identify with two different groups of people: tribal cultures and the environmentalists who dedicated themselves to righting the wrongs done by their fellow men and women. Within the Indian creation myths outlined in Barbara Sproul's Primal Myths and the perspectives expressed in John Muir's A Voice for Wilderness, a deep sense of understanding and dedication to the land transpires with an appreciation of life incomparable to the centralized view held by most individuals today. Muir is quoted saying, "People are beginning to find out that going to the mountains is going home, that wilderness is necessity, and that mountain parks and reservations are useful not only as fountains of timber and irrigating rivers, but as fountains of life." My admiration of these readings has not shifted my viewpoint on the land, but rather fortified my beliefs by making me aware of views and rituals that I never knew before. I've realized that most of the extraneous products surrounding me, although incredible for a given period of time, quickly lose their initial value. But the feeling I receive standing alone in a vast open natural landscape never loses its grandeur. Muir has taught me that life and the land are about something greater than just resources. The land is our home. Throughout my life, I have identified with countless different cultural groups. As a naturalist and adventurist in my 20s, I relate directly with those who find a direct connection to the environments that surround us while maintaining passionate about giving back to the earth. It is through the support of the living entity within the landscape that I am most in tune with. These opinions have been developed and refined over the course of this semester. However, it has undoubtedly been the culmination of 26 years of life's unexplainable experiences and relationships that has stimulated the convictions that I presently employ. My life began and resides in Carroll County, a rural community characterized by meandering streams, open fields, and rolling wooded hillsides. Here I have always realized the natural beauty that land encompasses. Ideas provoked in Muir's writings, in conjunction with the paintings of Thomas Cole, reflect my views of the natural world as something I distinguish as home, as well as something that could be idolized. Growing up on a farm for several years has shown me the gratification of wandering through the forest, taking a break to discern the faint trickle of a stream, or just looking upward through the silhouettes of the trees into the sky. But young and ignorant, I failed to make a connection to the land, instead just stepped back and appreciated the beautiful distraction. Through this period of consciousness, my education from high school through my time at College Park and UMBC permitted me with an understanding of what was happening within the complex systems of nature. I learned about the ways in which man exhibits a continual destruction of ecosystems that used to be so prolific. Lisa Benton states that these trends started as soon as the English began settling in America. Through the synthesis of my belief in the land as home and my disagreement with the early settlers' disregard for the land, I began to see the land as a limited resource. It has only been within the last 7 years of my life that I set out to grasp how all this information correlated to my own life. Over the years, my experiences with close friends, engagements with new cultures, and the power of music have allowed me to connect directly with the land. My experiences with friends has foremost allowed me to slow down my pace of life. Caught up in the attraction of the city's various accommodations, I lost contact with my true beliefs, hypocritically taking part in the consumeristic ecstasy of our man-made environment. The city endures as a vessel of which I enjoy the luxuries of life, alluring art and architecture, concerts and vacations. Although these are interests of mine, they cannot deviate me from my true passion, nature. Similar to ideas presented in Namade's The Man Made of Words, I was convinced my landscape demanded the most of my appreciation. On car rides down winding back roads, my friends and I engaged in deep conversations about these places and witnessed phenomenon of the land I would never have otherwise experienced. Each episode brought a brief moment of reverence and indicated how every second of life could share an identical sensation. Through personal excursions to new cultures, music festivals, and other random adventures across the U.S., I learned how I identify to the land. Completely disconnected from family and anything familiar, it's easy to feel alone in an unknown setting. But at music festivals specifically, I discovered a spiritual connection to the land that I had never fathomed. The ethereal beats of the music, magnified by engaging natural locations, immediately instigated response among the people. Through the unity of a crowd dancing as one, I saw how much the land could actually give back to a collective without most even realizing it. The organic rhythms of music coincide innately with the tranquil ebb and flow of nature's movement. This concept is comparable to those expressed in David Abrams' The Spell of the Sensuous. He explains how tribal cultures are inherently more connected to the land through the necessity of both survival skills and rituals, such as the Aboriginal dances. However, it was not solely my participation in live music events that solidified my current ideologies of the land. Traveling to such destinations as Amsterdam, the Caribbean, Toronto, and numerous places within the US has opened my eyes to adventure because of the vast unknown territories, the individuals that inhabit them, as well as welcoming adversity. Like Lewis and Clark, I revere the exhilaration of adventure and overcoming the trials that ensue. And it was those residents I encountered and the stories they shared that allowed me to realize that all people really are the same. I became cognizant of the notion that this land should be something that provides universally and is shared equally. And I remain pragmatic that all cultures will come together and manifest a newfound appreciation for this land. The land is not just a place that we live on. The land is the life of each and every one of us. Although limited in resources, it is here for the common good of all men and women. From the fruitful bounties of its branches to the spiritual inspiration derived in its presence. Whether I'm out traversing the rolling hills or relaxing to its natural rhythm, the land manifests as something far greater than myself. But if we all come together and each develop a personal relationship with the land, we can once again witness the harmony that can be achieved between man and nature. The land is love. The land is home.